The brothers here out of Great Millstone, Atlanta. All right, first and foremost, giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah,
YAHAWAH,
BAHASHAM,
BAHASHAM,
YAHAWASHI,
BAHASHAM,
BAHASHAM. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to the Akim, pushing out his truth and sincerity. All right, this is a quick lesson called the lifespan of an empire. All right, and basically, there was a so I was made aware of it by a little Zoom class or whatever I was in, but someone had brought it out. Basically, Jake was in it was like financial news, like a financial group, and they went into different various topics and whatnot. Now towards the end, all right, things started to because in financial news they're aware of what's going on. Yeah. They're if you're tapped in any type of way, you know that we're in the end times, and that there's gonna be a big shift, a digital shift. There's gonna be they're hip, they're privy to what's going on now. Somebody had mentioned the end of a book, all right, called and the book is called, what is it? The Fate of Empires and Search for Survival. All right, and this is by John or maybe Bagot Glub. And so based off of his findings, he's a historian, and based off of his findings, it says the average lifespan, this is also from Chat GPT.
Right, they basically pulled it from that book. It has it.
Yeah, so it says the average duration of an empire is often estimated to be around 250 years, though this varies depending on how empire and its lifespan are defined. Historian John Bagot Glub famously analyzed 11 major empires and concluded that most lasted around 246 years, regardless of geography or era. All right, so, and then he gives examples: the Assyrian Empire, the Persian Empire. Assyrian Empire was 247 years. Persian Empire was 208. Roman Empire was 207. It says 638 years. Arab Empire 246, and so on and so forth. Now, we just did a quick math. We just did some quick math, and when you do 250 minus 2025, that goes that's to 1776.
Right.
Yep. So, or no, was it 2026 minus
2025 minus
250?
Yeah,
so according to this, this is pretty accurate, and this would be spot on with basically what this historian is saying, because we believe we're in the last year to 2 year to we believe that we're in the last, we'll say, 1 to 5 years of America. We can never, only the Lord knows when.
Exactly.
But we damn sure not 1,000 years.
Removed. Right.
So, that's we'll just go ahead and get some precepts. Just dealing with this subject. I guess we can start with that, Job.
This is Job, chapter 14, verse 5. It reads, "Seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass." All right.
So, the Lord appointed his bounds, which is boundaries, and which is he can't pass. All right. The Lord YAHAWASHI. Where did the so-called white man get his power from? He got it from YAHAWASHI.
Right.
All right. And so the Lord set boundaries for this devil as to what he can and can't do, and how long his kingdom would last. All right. Because the days, look, everything is on the Lord's timeline, ultimately.
Right. Yeah.
All right. So we're just waiting to see we're just, watching the prophecies and waiting for this to come past. come to pass. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Did you want to
Now,
speak on it, or you can keep going if not?
I mean, basically, like the captain is going into, that's predestination. This kingdom is already its manifest destiny is to be destroyed. All right, that's why you see. That's why we're seeing, and that's how we know we're in the last days because of the prophecies that we are seeing. We're seeing the rumors of wars. We're seeing the economic collapse that the scriptures also speak about. That digital shift that is going to come in, which is going to basically be the prelude to the mark of the beast. All right, which is what? All right, the microchip implant that's going to be made mandatory to the masses, to the world. All right, that's a part of the elites of Esau Edom, the so-called white man's agenda. That's his plan to do. All right, that's part of prophecy. That's part of the last days, man. And we're measuring the times, and we see these things happening. That's why we're reading about or coming from the fate of the empire when referencing the book. It's like spot on, man. It's like, yeah, it's usually the empire has its time, what the Lord allows, which happens to be on average about 250 years.
Mm-hmm.
And we're seeing it like the brother mentioned. We can't say it, we can't give a specific month, a specific year. All right, but we know that we are close. We know we are at the end. All right, because we're watching for the signs. We're seeing prophecies come to pass, and we can see the end. We can see World War III happening. We can see the microchip implant being made mandatory, being implemented in their agenda and their plans, man. All right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's everything all aligns, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because matter of fact, let me get this real quick. Let me get matter of fact, let me get this instead. This is one moment. It's around here. Habakkuk 2.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah, Habakkuk
That's
2.
It. Yeah,
Yep. This is Habakkuk 2 and 6. Oh, no, I'm sorry, 3. Wait, this is no one.
Don't we tear away for it?
Together. Yeah, but hold on, Slacker. Thought I had Habakkuk. My pages I got stuck together. Slacker, bear with me.
Well, I got it for you. I got it.
Yeah, okay.
It's Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 3. Well, I started verse 2. Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 2, it reads, And the Lord answered me and said, Write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. Verse 3.
Yeah, write the vision and make it plain upon tables. All right, and this is part of making it plain upon tables. All right, a quick Google search of what is the average lifespan of a kingdom. All right, because every kingdom has an expiration date. Right. Nothing lasts forever. Nothing is ever permanent. Nothing is ever just, built to last. You know, America wasn't intended to just be the kingdom of all kingdoms, and it's just gonna go on forever. Right. Like the kingdom of the Lord. Yeah. You know.
Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it would not tarry.
Yeah. Hey, so it's going to come. It's not going to tarry. All right. But it said, wait for it. Right. You know, because, hey, ultimately we don't know, but Romans 15:4, that was the other one I was going to get. But I'll just quote it. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning. Yep. So these things were written for our learning so that we can understand it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the earth which he made.
Exactly.
You know, quoting 2nd Ezra 9. That's right. Yep.
I got a precept for you. This is Psalm chapter 49, verse 11, because we have to do the prophets, the men of the Lord, and we have to do lessons as such because we have to give warning and alarm to our people. Our people basically take on the mindset of the oppressors. And for our oppressors, being Esau Edom, the so-called white nation, their true biblical identity, along with their alliance with the heathen, these other nations outside the nation of Israel, outside of you Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, because you make up the 12 tribes of Israel. All right, you take on this mindset of thinking that this place is going to last forever, that this place has a long time to go. That's why you say such things like what? Oh, not in my lifetime. Oh, that's not going to happen. That sounds like a long time from now. All right, we're here to tell you that no. According to things that are happening around you, we're giving an understanding of these such things and making it simple and plain unto you. All right, to those that are able to receive the message. You know that these things are right around the corner. The end is right around the corner. All right, this is not some illusion that we're pushing, man. All right, but you know, to most, it's going to catch you. That's why the Lord's going to come as a thief in the night. It's going to catch you off guard because you have this mindset here. This is Psalms chapter 49, verse 11. You're taking on that heathen. This is concerning the heathen, of course. It says their inward thought is
that's cool.
That their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names, and that's what the oppressor does, man. These such cities, the major cities, the minor cities, it's named after different oppressors, man. All right, all throughout history. But then what their inward thought is that this place is going to last forever. Right. A lot of people have taken on that same mindset. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, they think it's gonna be a continuing city, man.
Yeah,
it's just gonna keep going on and on, and you know we're gonna be here till 2045,
right?
And you know, cause Esau always has these little AI projections, like oh, you know, by this year, by 2045, everything's gonna be automated, or by this year,
that's what they do.
You know, whatever, we're gonna have flying cars or whatever. But hey, look, man, the Lord, we ain't got that long, Lord willing. But based off of prophecy, we have high high anticipation that it will happen. Right. We have very good reason to believe that it's going to happen. Right. Within the next couple years. Yeah. All right. And Trump, everything aligns. Yeah. Everything aligns up the way Trump is moving with these tariffs. You know, the economy is shit. Like how can you got to think for things to continue on, that means America's economy would have to would have to go through a depression, because the depression is inevitable. Right. The recession and depression, we're in a recession right now, but it's going to get worse. Yeah. So that means that this economy would have to die and then be brought back again, which would take another, how long does it take a recession? A depression can take, up to 10 years? Yeah, I mean, to bounce back? Let me look that up.
Yeah, you can look that up.
As ChatGPT. How long does a depression, let's see. How long
does a country
economic depression
take to recover from?
Yeah.
See where it comes up. I got a precept in the meantime. Come on. This is Hebrews chapter 13, verse 14. And we, like I mentioned before, we have to let you know the end is coming, but we have to also let you know, and of course we say Lord's will, because we know the Lord can do what he wants. All right, but how things are going and how we're paying attention to how things are, the prophecies of the Bible are moving, we know it's closer than what we even think, because that's what Romans 13:11 speaks about. All right, await for our salvation is nearer than what we believe, and we know what's going on, so it's closer than what we even think. You know. Mm-hmm. So this is Hebrews chapter 13, verse 14. It reads, "For here we have no continuing city, because what? This is not our rest. All right, this is not the end all be all for the Israelites. That's what we're trying to tell. That's the good news. That's the gospel for you Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. That's good news to you. That should be good news. All right, because this is not it. This low state that we're in, this poor ghetto poverty ass conditions that we're in. All right, under our oppressors. This is not the end all be all for us, man. All right, but it's going to take for this place to be destroyed, for this place to fall, for YAHAWASHI to return, for deliverance and judgment to take place, for us to be that nation to be on top, that the Lord has already ordained for it to happen. The kingdom is already ours. It just has to take place.
That's it. Yep. So it says.
Let me finish that off.
Oh, my bad. Okay.
No, you good. For here we have no continuing city, but we seek one to come, and that's the kingdom of heaven. under the rule of Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, and the Israelites. Got it.
Yeah, so it says, to answer that question, it says the time it takes for a nation to recover varies significantly depending on the severity of the depression. Now, we know this is going to be a very severe depression.
Right.
But the Great Depression lasted from 1929 to 1939, so that's roughly 10 years.
Yeah.
All right, and it said that the 2008 global pandemic, the global crisis took 6 years to recover. All right. Yeah. So, yeah. Hey, that's years. That's years down. If this place were to go on, then America would have to be stimulated again.
Right.
You know, it would have to be back into. It would have to be back here. Oh, let's get that Jeremiah 51, because that's what these knuckleheads that don't believe that destruction is that don't believe we're in the very last of the end. Okay, you basically trying to heal Babylon, man.
Yeah.
You're in the spirit of healing, not destruction.
Right.
All right, go ahead.
Yep. This is Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 8. It reads, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her? Take balm for her pain. If so be, she may be healed.
If so, she may be healed. Now, we know there is no healing, man. You know, but it said, how for her? Take balm for her pain. You know, because it ain't like, it's on his deathbed. America's on his deathbed. Go ahead.
Verse 9. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her and let us go everyone into his own country, for her judgment reacheth unto heaven and is lifted up even to the skies.
Yeah, so that judgment is reaching unto heaven, man. And it's that we would have healed Babylon. When you're on your deathbed, you know, certain people they're never the same after that. You know, it may not, you know, you may have a heart attack, but then you have lifelong complications. You may bounce back and you know, you could certain things that happen and you may be paralyzed.
Yeah.
You know, or the doctor may say, well, you know, you got X amount of years to live. You know, but America's at the point where it's a no return. Whatever Trump is trying to do to bring back American business, and you know, stimulate the economy again, it's too little, too late. It's not gonna. It's to no avail.
Right.
Because look at the amount of debt America's in.
Yeah.
Over
30,
what, 40 trillion, almost 40 trillion. I think.
Yeah, definitely over 30 trillion for sure. Yep.
So
and you got a lot of countries. Just to answer your point, you got a lot of countries with the de-dollarization. A lot of countries are dropping the U.S. dollar as their top currency. So that's another sign that America's dominance and its influence is falling.
That's it. Yep. Got anything?
Oh, let me reread that.
Okay.
I was grabbing. Yeah, I did have something for you because you had when that Jeremiah 51. Because when these different countries are the judgment, this place is gonna be destroyed, man. You won't be able to help. When World War III, when those missiles are shot, it's no turning things back. And like you mentioned, like I thought of Isaiah chapter 13 because you mentioned like this place is on its deathbed. The nations are already pissed off. They have the bad tensions and relationships with the different nations that hate America, which is prophetic. Babylon the Great in the Bible, you know, it's no turning it back. Countries like China, countries like Russia, countries like North Korea, Iran, these countries are ready for war. All right, but it's go back to your point, Isaiah chapter 13 verse 19. Because you mentioned that, you know, once you're in your deathbed, it's no going back to being, you know, that prime you again. Nah.
Right. Hey, well, America still hasn't been the same since COVID. You know?
Right.
You got it.
This is Isaiah chapter 13, verse 19. In Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty, and this in my Bible is subheaded the desolation of Babylon. All right, so we know this in the ancient Babylon is referring to modern day Iraq. So this can't possibly be talking about modern day Iraq because this is going into destruction. And then it says, and it's about to say it. It says in Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency, shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. And how was Sodom and Gomorrah destroyed? Through fire and brimstone. And that fire is going to be brought to America in the midst of these other countries as well through World War III in the midst of thermonuclear missile destruction.
That's it.
Verse 20. It shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. Neither shall the Arabian prince tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there. Yeah, so no places. That's why these people gonna be making. You know, if it was possible, they would heal this place because they make a lot of money off America. America stimulates a lot of economies across the world, including China's. You know, but this place where it says never be inhabited ever again, so we know that's not referring to modern day Iraq, ancient Babylon. That's another Babylon. That's why it says Babylon the Great in the Bible. You know, and that's referring to America. If you have the spirit of discernment to receive that,
right?
You know,
and just like you mentioned, how these other countries rely on America, America's economy, that goes in that Revelation 18 or the Revelation 20, where it goes into
Revelation 18. I think.
You know, the merchant shall weep for her.
Yeah.
You know. So that goes to show that America's economy, the world is relying on that. Okay, because it's the biggest country of capitalism, biggest consumer country. So when you take that away, then you take the world economy is hurt.
Yeah, it's a domino effect.
That's it. If you want to get that, you get straight to the point.
Yeah, I got that. Yeah, this is
we can close on that.
Okay, this is Revelation chapter 18. I started verse 10. Verse 10, it reads, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. Verse 11, and the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore.
Yep. Hey, so proving the point.
Yep.
You know, that once America's economy is gonna be hurt, the world is gonna go to shit. Now, and the world's gonna be under new management. All right, because y'all ain't gonna, you other heathen nations, you ain't gonna take over and try to stimulate your economy and now your dollars. No, look.
Right.
The hell with all that. Look, America's on its way out. That's gonna be the end of any heathen ruling.
Right.
You know.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. Because these other nations think they're up next. The Chinese one think they're up next. It's just everybody think they're up next, man. These other countries, and but they're just not aware of what the Lord has in store.
That's it.
They're not factoring in that the Lord coming back. That's what they're not factoring in. They don't. That's what having that faith and that prophetic hope, you know, comes into play.
That's it. Yep.
You know.
Yeah. So Lord willing, you edified. You know, it's just a quick lesson. And, you know, Lord willing, you were edified. We're going to give all praise, honor, and glory to
YAHAWAH,
BAHASHAM,
YAHAWASHI,
BAHASHAM, HaKadosh. That belongs to the elders and apostles of the great millstone. Shalom to the elect. Shalom.
Hey, shalom.